And we are live. Hey everybody, Jokerbet here, back again with another live show. Today I'm joined by Caleb, aka
LegoMasterCole583. Thanks for having me, Logan.
No problemo. Sorry, I try to avoid saying the numbers in people's usernames because I usually mess it up.
That's cool.
So you're LegoMasterCole in my book. Anyway, so here we are to whoever may be watching it at home, whether you're watching it live or as a archived hangout. And just to let you guys know, we may be joined by another person who is a veteran of these past several live shows, but we're not quite sure yet, so I'm not going to say who it is. And in a bit, Steve, aka Rabidhammer, will be joining us. And if you've watched any of these previous hangouts, then you should be familiar with him as well. So, to start things off, I figured that we start off on a Star Wars-y note, since, you know, we're all Star Wars fans here, obviously, and LegoMasterCole, this is the first time being on a live show in quite a while, am I correct?
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've been on a live show. I haven't been as active in the YouTube community either lately.
Yeah, that seems to be a reoccurring thing with a lot of people here on YouTube, inactivity, unfortunately.
But we're back.
Yeah, we're back. So, yeah, so hopefully, of course, we hope that this will inspire more people to come back to YouTube in the future. But anyway, back to Star Wars, everybody. So, this past week, Star Wars 7 is obviously currently being filmed in the UK, I believe at Pinewood Studios, the exact location. Anyway, so actually this is kind of an interesting story, is that obviously Star Wars 7 is being filmed, and there's, as I've heard it, there's somebody who's just, like going for their pilot's license or anything. They're flying airplanes anyway, and I guess their job that day is to take aerial pictures, and they just so happen to stumble upon the set or the shooting location of Star Wars 7, and they took some pictures, and now they're leaked onto the internet for everybody to enjoy. So I'm going to screen share a few of them quick here. So here's the article, 7 pics, and I guess there's some videos from far off in the distance as well, but the main thing are these pictures here, which I guess those are some kind of soldiers. Don't know who or what they'll be. And here's the most famous picture, I think, to come from these leaked pics is so you can see here, we got an X-Wing, the new X-Wing.
That looks like the one Abrams was standing next to.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, because it's got the same blue coloration as well on the wings. And probably the biggest thing is we got half the Millennium Falcon right there. Cool stuff. So what do you think, Caleb?
I think that's actually pretty cool. And we've actually seen the Millennium Falcon model before, but I think it was inside of some sort of building last time we saw one.
Yeah.
A leaked picture of it.
Yeah. And, yeah, so, I mean, it's really cool. And also some people, I've seen some speculation is that, well, obviously we don't know if this is just like a staging area, or they're gonna move the vehicles inside or something, or if this is actually where they're shooting. Because some people have pointed out that this kind of looks like the Yavin hangar doors.
Yeah, they do resemble the Yavin hangar doors, so maybe the rebels have returned to Yavin.
Maybe. And it's kind of too far off to tell what these costumes are actually going to look like, but they appear to be holding some kind of blaster, so maybe that's the new rebel attire. And then there's also this interesting, well, actually there's a, oh, click to, well, why does it keep on, there we go. Now, yeah, I almost skipped this. This looks like another X-Wing. I'm not sure if it's like the same design as the blue one, but it might be a more classic looking one. I'm not sure. I can't really tell.
The colors look a bit darker to me on that one.
Yeah, yeah. The coloration. I mean, the actual like paint job is different, but in terms of the physical mechanical design of it, um, I can't tell if it's as streamlined like the new streamlined version of the X-Wing or not. Looks like it might be an older X-Wing. And then this, what appears to be some kind of hover tank or hovercraft or something.
Troop carrier. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Kind of reminds me of, from episode 4, what was it, like the little hover carts that the Yavin mechanics use.
Is that guy holding a X-Wing pilot helmet? I can't tell.
I think he actually may be holding a helmet. It's like it's so far off, it's hard to tell, really.
Yeah, you can't tell if it's like it could be anything in that distance.
Yeah.
He could be wearing a security suit, or he could be wearing like a flight suit for an X-Wing.
Yeah. So, and then see if play this video, see if it shows anything. Okay, so obviously you guys can't hear the audio because it's not hooked up to that. But it appears that they are shooting there, so this isn't just a staging area. So this actually could be, a real film location like Yavin.
Well, if it is Yavin, that would actually make sense. You played the Jedi Academy or Jedi Knight games, right?
Oh yeah, I love those games.
Yeah, well, in Jedi Academy, they actually returned to Yavin, and they kind of set up a new Jedi Order on that planet. So maybe something similar happened here.
And I believe that that's also in the several of the expanded universe novels, right?
Yeah, I believe that they've had that happen in a lot of Star Wars content, comics, novels.
Yeah. So pretty cool stuff. I mean, so what do you think about this, Caleb? Potential return to Yavin, and obviously we got the X-Wings and Millennium Falcon back.
I like the way the ships look so far. I think they look awesome, and the new paint schemes on them look great. And so far it is looking very original trilogy-like, which is great in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I gotta agree. I mean, the designs, obviously like from the picture that Abrams took, and I don't have it pulled up at the moment, but the picture that Abrams took, it looks like the designs are more streamlined and they have an evolution to them. That they're not just using the same old X-Wings from the original trilogy. So that's all really good to see. I think it shows an evolution in technology because it is supposed to be 30 years later. So.
Yeah, and definitely the X-Wings would have changed by then, you'd think. A lot.
Yeah, definitely. So, very cool stuff to see. Anyway, so on to the next article, I guess, which is also Star Wars, but the collecting side of Star Wars. Is that the new, obviously, Rebels starts pretty soon, like next month is when it debuts on Disney Channel.
October 3rd is when the movie actually comes out on DVD, and they premiere it on Disney, I think.
The movie? Oh, they're starting off with
it's like an hour-long special, but they're calling it a movie.
Yeah, so they're not quite going to the full extent that they did with the Clone Wars in terms.
Yeah, it's not a theatrical release or anything. It's just like an hour-long movie. That's pretty much just the first 2 episodes put together, probably, like the Clone Wars did with their first few episodes.
The first, I guess how you put story, the first story arc.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the later episodes in theaters because I think they were a lot more like attention to detail in those.
Yeah, definitely. So, so it's coming out very soon, and finally, just now, the actual merchandise for the show is hitting store shelves. And so in some places, Toys R Us has had a reset on their Star Wars section. So I'm going to screen share some pictures of that. And yeah, you know, it's a little bit, you know, not exactly what I or many people would want, but it's something. So here we've got, you know, backpacks, woohoo, the jumbo X-wing that doesn't
Everyone's
have,
favorite.
yeah, yeah, that
No
doesn't have
scale.
any removable or movable parts and has little paint.
And nothing to display with it because it's kind of to scale with itself. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen some people like say that it's to scale maybe with the Black Series. Is that true? I mean, have you seen
I
this
have
thing?
not compared it, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it would be. It looks like a little too big because if you think about a 3.75-inch scale, and then that, I mean, the cockpit, or maybe too small. I don't even know.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It may be, you know, somewhat in scale with the 6-inch Black Series. Who knows? Maybe this originally started out as a Black Series X-wing, but then they decided it'd be too
Go
cost
the cheap way.
expensive. Yeah. So they decided, you know, to say, oh, we're just going to slap a Rebels logo on it or whatever and have a little bit of paint on it.
So far, there's no sign of an X-wing even being in Rebels. Like as in like the
Yeah.
trailers and stuff. They haven't shown any X-wings in the trailers.
Yeah, and it's weird, too, because you see up here, definitely that's the Star Wars Rebels logo with the orange right there. But the
They're just slapping
background,
it on everything now to advertise, I
yeah,
think, pretty much.
but the background graphic on this is, you know, movie X-Wings and TIE Fighters, you know. So you'd think at least they put some, you know,
Rebels
Rebels
TIE
TIE
fighters.
Fighters, yeah.
Yeah, but another thing I saw is on a lot of the movie heroes figures, they're slapping Rebels on it because there's one pack, two pack that's coming with the Stormtrooper and Boba Fett, and they're just the same ones we've already got, just re-released in a two pack in
Wow.
the mission series, and they slapped the Rebels logo on it, so everyone was thinking Boba Fett's gonna have a cameo in Rebels in his Empire Strikes Back armor, but so far that's not confirmed. But I'm pretty sure we'll maybe see Boba Fett or some of the bounty hunters in the show.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's the same people behind that as Clone Wars, so I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Logan, you know, reprises his voice role as Boba Fett at some point.
Or D. Bradley as Bosk, because we did have a Star Wars Rebels novel that had Bosk on the cover a while back.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Speaking of seeing Rebels merchandise in stores, at Subway I saw some little bags hanging up that had Rebels on them, and then at Walgreens when I was looking for the prototype bat, they had a puzzle with the Inquisitor on it.
yeah, so it appears then that the Clone Wars Rebels or not the Clone Wars Rebels, my bad. Star Wars Rebels merchandise is becoming a bit more widespread.
Starting to switch over to all of it
Yeah,
anymore.
and finally getting rid of the old canceled Revenge of the Sith mission series stuff. So yeah,
They
there's
kind of look overstocked with Yoda in that picture if you look at it. It looks like they got like 3 different Yoda items there.
yeah, it is kind of funny. And Adam is joining us. Let's see. We've had some technical difficulties in the past, so hopefully there won't be any here. But there's like a little dress up as a stormtrooper costume thing.
I know what I'm gonna be for Halloween now.
Yeah. And here's some I guess some mildly more interesting stuff. The big shampoo bottle 12-inch figures. Yeah. More mission series. Appears
And
there's
there's
some
Ezra's
Rebels.
mask over there to the left.
Yeah, so there
That new
there
one.
is Rebels mask.
I hate how it's a
Vader.
mask. If it was the actual full helmet, that thing would be pretty neat. You know, like the plastic clone trooper ones they made. They made a Rex one. And
Yeah, yeah.
those were actually pretty neat. I have the clone trooper one. It looks neat on display.
Yeah, I mean, I know when Revenge of the Sith came out, obviously I was a child then, but like, you know, the helmets, you know, the role-playing items they released were just so much better back then because I still have the Darth Vader voice changer helmet, which is the full helmet, and the electronics are long dead, but, you know, used to be you can, you know, press a button and it'd make your voice sound somewhat like Darth Vader's, and you know, it's just really cool, but now we've only got these little, like, you know, cheap Ruby's Halloween masks, pretty much.
Yeah, and the Inquisitor's lightsaber down there. As soon as I saw that in the show, it reminded me of that one General Grievous lightsaber that Hasbro released a while back that spins.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure
The
that's going
handle
to be
design
made
and
into a
everything.
toy.
It's right there. It's in the picture.
Yeah, but I mean like a figure with a spinning lightsaber functionality or something.
Oh yeah, that's
Some kind of
probably
play
true
gimmick.
as well.
So there's like a little costume with the Inquisitor. So lightsabers, little toy blasters. Still got these Class 2 vehicles that nobody wants.
I do want the Class 2 Rebels vehicles, like the troop
Yeah,
transport. That actually looks pretty neat.
yeah. Yeah, those pictures did look like it'd be a better Class 2 vehicle than what we're used to.
Yeah, but other than that, I have not seen much quality items being released for the show. Like most of them were directed towards much younger kids and stuff.
Yeah, the 4 points of articulation stuff and all that.
Yeah.
And there's one little good thing on here is the Vintage Collection X-Wings, which are going on clearance. So you know they're around like $40 now. So definitely pick one up if you haven't.
I actually have not picked one up, but I got the Trench Run set in the box, the one that has Vader's TIE Fighter and Luke's. So I
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
get that one. That would go good with that set, I think.
Yeah, I've got both the Trench Run and this one, and they're both very good. You know, they're the same old, different paint
Yeah.
schemes, but you know they're, you know,
That
you
one's
never
Red
have,
5?
huh?
Which one is the Vintage Collection one? The Red 5 or is it Red?
No, it's not Red 5. It's Biggs X-Wing. I forget
Oh,
which.
that's why they released Biggs in the dark. Okay, now I know why
Yeah,
they released Biggs in Wave 1. Okay.
I forget what his call sign is during the Battle of Endor. Not Battle of Endor, Battle of Yavin. I'm just messing up my words. See, normally, you know, I do these shows at night, but I'm doing it a bit earlier, so I guess it's just too early for me to function. But anyway, so yeah, here's some, you know, sleeping bags, baby T-shirts, whatever, and then the same old Black Series stuff that's polluting shelves. Yeah. Greedo, Slave Leia, the 2-pack with Han and Greedo, a bunch of Bigs, and then the new Endor box set, which actually looks kind of cool, if a bit expensive.
Yeah, I heard that box set was going on sale for around 70 right now, somewhere around there on
Yeah,
Jedi
yeah.
Temple.
They've, I believe, I saw an article on Jedi Temple Archives that they like deducted the price online by $20, I think.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like enough to me though. I think I'll still pass on it for now.
Yeah, I mean, when you break it down into just the numbers, I think you get like, well, you get the repack of the Vintage Collection ATST, which was like a $30 to $40 item, depending on when you got it, and you get 8 figures by themselves. So you know it's actually a kind of good deal, at
Yeah,
least
but the
what we're
problem is
used to.
most of the figures in there are figures we've already gotten or Ewoks. 2 of them are Ewoks.
Yeah. So that is the drawback, is that you're getting a good deal, but it's nothing new.
Yeah, if there were more army builders in there, like biker scouts and stuff, I would definitely pick that one up.
Yeah, so I think it's got like Stormtrooper, ATST driver, Vader, a few Ewoks, and then Chewie, Han, and Leia.
But I do have to admit, I like the way they went with packaging it. It looks nice packaged.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if I got it, which I'm probably not to until they deduct the price by a lot, I'd probably just keep it in packaging, as a nice display item.
Yeah, it is. And Hasbro hasn't done something like that in a while, and it's good to see that coming back.
Yeah, it's like the first battle pack we've gotten for like several years now, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember in the Legacy Collection when they released in Rancors with the window packaging.
Yeah, yeah.
During the Clone Wars, they had the Battle of Christophsis with window packaging. They had all kinds of stuff with windowed packaging, and I think windowed packaging really helps sell the items because people get to see what they're buying, and it looks cool displayed actually. Without opening it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, either go windowed packaging or give us a Vintage Collection release. So, and then here, I don't think I'm not going to waste time on this one. Nobody wants this. Here's some more. I think those are Jack Pacific.
I want to find the Boba Fett one of those.
Yeah. Oh, here's the Jack Pacific down there. So this must be Hasbro.
Oh.
Here's Jack Pacific. 31 inch.
My Toys R Us actually had one of those 501st Troopers, but he did not have the visor. I actually filmed that and put it on YouTube because I wondered if any of the other ones were like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just wondering how stuff like that gets past quality control.
Yeah. We could spend an entire live show talking about Star Wars quality control.
Oh, go back up. Wait, there was something I wanted to point out.
Hmm.
Star Wars skateboards.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, for those of you who are dying to get some Star Wars skateboards out there. And then I guess this is for toddlers or something, a little Vader couch.
I should get one of those and sit it right here in front of my computer. And then
Yeah.
it's a little short though. It's a problem.
Yeah, I wonder if you could probably get the Jack-specific ones to sit down there.
Yeah, there you go.
But, and then here's some Lego, which...
Looks strong as ever. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm impressed with all the good Lego sets coming out right now.
Yeah, you got a bunch of stuff. I'm surprised they still got the Yoda packaging ones. Wow, back.
Yeah, Lego, I guess, I think they keep them stocked a little bit longer after that.
Yeah.
Than Hasbro and the other products.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think Lego is, because, you know, because it is, you know, they don't really have to mold new pieces,
Yeah.
I guess. You know, they can just keep on manufacturing the pieces and assembling them into sets.
But
So
they
I
do
think
have to
they
mold
can-
some things like the dewback and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
helmets. But other than that, it's pretty much
The
just straightforward. They
minifigures.
can just keep printing different stuff on them and have almost an unlimited amount of characters.
Definitely. So, still a good selection of that. And then here's a bigger overview of the Star Wars section. So, that's the future of Star Wars collecting at your local Toys R Us.
Exciting.
Yeah, definitely. So, anyway, I'm going to go real quick to the comments section. Darth Duo, when we were talking about the Episode 7 pictures, he said, interesting photos, those X-Wings, the paint jobs look absolutely awesome. So I agree that they do look quite nice. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a good bit of that in the upcoming inevitable trailers and whatnot for Star Wars 7.
I want to see if there's any changes made to the Millennium Falcon after 30 years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if it was already supposed to be in ragtag condition in the original trilogy, then what's it going to be like, you know, 30 years beyond that?
Yeah, possibly they could have kind of added a new touch to it, upgraded it maybe.
Yeah, a new radar dish or something.
Yeah, because Lando knocked the last one off while escaping the Death Star in Endor.
Yeah, yeah, that is true, and we never really... On film, we never saw it replaced, but, you know, it's been done many times in the formerly known as Expanding Universe.
Steve has joined the Hangout.
Steve. I think he is muted currently. Stevie Wonder.
Yes, hello.
There we go.
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Hello, Lego Master Cole. How are you?
Good, how are you, Rabidhammer?
Good, good, good. Logan, how are you?
Good. How about yourself, Steve?
Pretty good.
Well, pretty much for the past 20 or so minutes, we've just been talking some Star Wars. Just to quickly go over what we talked about, the leaked Episode 7 set pictures, and then the reset of the Star Wars aisle at Toys R Us to have a bunch of stuff that nobody wants.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nothing super exciting on that front.
Yeah, I'm curious to what my Toys R Us is doing right now. It's been a while since I've been in there.
Same here, I haven't visited mine in a while. Perhaps I should give them a visit, see if there's anything good.
Yeah, you know, the pessimistic side of me, you know, says no, because that's usually the case. But
Yeah.
Nothing.
you never know.
Yeah, I mean, like,
One of my Walmarts that's used to consistently be bad has finally redone their shelves and actually have some good stuff up now, so I didn't see that coming.
nice. Yeah, I mean, I think usually with my stores, it's usually hit or miss. Usually I'll find, like, you know, one thing that is in a new wave, but it's obvious it's always not the figure I'm looking for or something. So
This is not the figure you're looking for.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I got really lucky and found a Stormtrooper at Target like a
Mm,
week or two ago.
Nice.
nice. Yeah, I got Vader in today, so I'm
Oh
really
yeah, how is that?
I really like him. The cloth cloak is just really done nicely.
Oh yeah,
Barely see through it at all. Um,
that's good.
it's kind of like reminds me of back when I was into masks. I knew all about the Ghostface masks from Scream,
Yeah,
and back in the original movie, they had the original masks from the '90s that were from a company called Fun World, and they were made with extremely well quality cloth, like thick T-shirt material. And once they lost the rights to this mask, this subpar company got it, and ever since then they've been, really crappy see-through nylon cloth, and just never been the same. So,
Kind of like throwaway Halloween masks, pretty much.
oh yeah, yeah, and that's what I was afraid of. I was gonna be seeing on this figure, but it's not like that at all. And
very nice.
I think I want to paint the cloak chain black though. Um,
Very,
it looks good in silver, but I think it's supposed to be black. I'm not sure.
yeah, yeah, and
It's
our
a
thoughts.
it's a big chain too. It's not totally screen accurate, but it's nice that it's a real chain.
Yeah, they actually gave us metal this time.
That's what should have been on Leia's whatchamathingy, her collar.
Yeah, really. And also on that figure, isn't he like more episode 4 inspired? Because then he has the brown goggles.
Well, that's what's weird. It's sort of an amalgam because he's got the brown lenses, but the box touts it as Return of the Jedi, and of course you can take the mask off to see Anakin from Return of the Jedi. So
Yeah, that is a bit weird.
it is.
Yeah, I think the reason they said Return of the Jedi on the box is just so it would like correspond with the release of that Luke, the Return of the Jedi Luke.
Ah, right, right.
So they can sell both of them. But other than that, I think it looks more Return of the Jedi-ish.
Yeah.
Or no, I meant New Hope because I'm sorry.
Yeah, because of the helmet. Yeah, it works though. It looks great next to Bespin, Luke 2, and Boba Fett.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I
I'm
really
sure
just
it's going to be another rare figure to get your hands on.
yeah, yeah.
Well, Boba Fett was rare for a while, but that didn't last luckily, and I think the Stormtrooper is starting to go down.
Yeah, they are. Actually, I almost bought one on Amazon last night if I wasn't really saving for another figure because it was 25 shipped, and I would have done that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, if you go to Target looking for one, you probably spend that much in gas.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, very true. So, actually, real quick to the comments. Darth Duo asks, has either of you gotten your hands on the Black Series 6-inch prototype Fett?
No, I have not, sadly. I've checked, though. I've been checking Walgreens like every 2 to 3 days, and so far no sign of anything Black Series other than the Luminar Unduli and the Darth Vader in the 3.75-inch scale, and nothing else in stock.
Yeah. Um, one Walgreens I visited the other day had nothing Star Wars at all, and another one I called just has the 3.75. So I would like to get the Fett, but I wouldn't even bother taking them out of package.
Me neither. I think that to me that was kind of a disappointment when they first showed the pictures, because his blasters, first of all, are just repaints or redistributions of the other one. When the prototype Fett's blasters should have looked a lot different from
Different.
the regular Fett's blasters.
Yep. And it would have been a great nod to give Boba Fett's cape that
As a
towel.
towel? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, like Sideshow did. That was
Yeah.
really cool that Sideshow did that.
Right. So.
But then
I'd
again, it
rather.
is just Hasbro.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we can't expect them to think that deep and do cool things like that.
No, I'm sure they thought of it, but then they laughed and like, yeah, that's not us.
Yeah, too much money.
Too
Yeah.
much effort.
Yeah,
Yep.
too much effort. So Adam is here once again. Hopefully, technical issues can be solved that are inhibiting him from speaking.
Hmm.
So, in the meantime, I thought we'd go on to some miscellaneous news before we hit the big Marvel DC news. Well, first off, are any of you guys here fans of James Bond?
Yeah, I am.
I've seen the movies.
Well, quite recently, sadly, Bond villain Richard Jaws Keel died at the age of 74, who obviously is very famous for playing the character Jaws in 2 Roger Moore Bond movies.
Yeah, that's right. I did hear about that. Yeah, it's pretty sad. He was a good actor. And when I was younger and would watch those films here and there, um, Jaws, especially in his first role, because he was a bit more serious, he creeped me out.
Yeah, I mean, he kills people by biting them, you know.
I know that
Ew.
is such a simple job with those teeth, but it looked cool.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely one of those iconic Bond villains, you know.
Yep.
If not, you know, just for the outrageousness of,
His
his
gimmick.
gimmick.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'll screen share a picture of him so everybody at home knows who we're talking about.
And then he was great in Happy Gilmore. He actually played that big giant guy who helps Happy towards the end.
Yeah, I remember that now. You say it.
He had a mustache in it.
Mhm. Yeah, and
I
then
actually don't think I've seen Happy Gilmore.
Ah, good
one
Adam
of Adam
Sandler.
Sandler's better ones.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, when he was good.
Right.
So here's Richard Keel as Jaws. You know, he's got those scary metal teeth. And then there's, if you want to, you could watch the fight sequence. And it goes on to talk about how he was also, I believe, in the pilot for The Incredible Hulk. He was the one who played the Hulk, but Lou Ferrigno replaced him midway through shooting. So there's a picture of him.
Wow.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Here's him as a more recent picture of him.
Yep.
So sad to hear. You know, he's just kind of like one of those iconic, villains from definitely from the 70s at least, and from the James Bond universe.
Yep. Yep.
And also, let's check the comments on Twitter. No new comments. And I always like to bring up these heartwarming stories, as once again the miracle makers at Make-A-Wish have fulfilled a young person's dream, and I'll just share this and let it speak for itself. Very, very cute. Patrick Stewart, he's adorable Vulcan child for Make-A-Wish. And I was actually at Dragon Con, which Caleb, you
cool.
were in attendance at.
Yeah, I was at Dragon Con actually.
I don't know if that was, some kind of news on the convention floor, if that spread, but Patrick
It
Stewart.
was so crowded there, I didn't know what was going on half the time.
Yeah, so I guess Patrick Stewart was in fact there. Thank you.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's always nice. I mean, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, that's just real nice. I saw a pic of Chris Pratt dressed as Star-Lord visiting some kid in the hospital.
Yeah. We actually, I think it was probably a show that you weren't on, but we actually, that was one of our news stories a few weeks ago.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, I like to share these celebrity good, I guess, good celebrity stories or something. Because it's good to see celebrities using their celebrity status to give back to the fans. Obviously, fans that are in particular are not so well off.
Yeah, Sorry if you hear this giggling. That's my nephew.
Giggling child in the back. I was about to ask, but
Uh,
you answered it.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, so Adam, technological problems have defeated him tonight.
unfortunately, yeah, technology sucks.
Yep. I wouldn't bet my money on it.
Yeah, so that's
I didn't notice any word from Tony or anything. Is he busy?
yeah. Tony, unfortunately, also cannot join us tonight,
Ah.
so he's busy. But
Alright.
I think it's 3 people on a show is a good number to have.
Yep.
That way, everybody has plenty of time to voice their opinion, and it's not just going down the line.
Yeah.
Everybody throwing their 2 cents.
Right.
An hour later, topic number 1 done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That has a tendency to happen when you have these huge live shows. They just drag on because everybody needs to talk for 10 minutes at a time.
Right.
So, with that, I guess that's done with the miscellaneous news section, and on to some DC comic news, because that's kind of there's a lot of Marvel news this week, but DC news is still a few tidbits. So actually, recently there were some leaked set pictures of the Batmobile in action. However, in response to that, Zack Snyder, the director, just did something awesome and was like, oh, you want to see the Batmobile? How about we just release an official picture for it?
Yep. Yeah, I saw those weird pics before the official one, but I have not played too much of the Arkham games, even though I should. Is it kind of based off of that or no?
Yeah, I mean, actually, like comparing this Batmobile, if I can Google it real quick, it looks a lot like the Batmobile that's going to be in Arkham Knight, which is...
In Arkham Knight, the Batmobile kind of comes like a tank, though. It's kind of got like that big cannon that comes out.
Yeah, so I mean, you can see the similarities in design. Let me see. That's not a very good resolution picture. All right. But you can see, like, the whole, like, 2 wheels protruding kind of design.
Yeah.
So, back. Arkham Knight, Batman v Superman.
I mean, I like it. I mean, I'll never like any Batmobile more than the '89 Batmobile or from Returns, but I like it better than the last one.
Yeah, I think, the Tumbler was... I think the Tumbler was definitely more like, Frank Miller's tank Batmobile than anything else.
Yeah.
But, this new Batmobile, it looks very, like, I guess, utilitarian in design, very functional.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whereas, the Batman '89 Batmobile was very sleek and, just, cool looking car.
Yeah, not too functional.
Yeah, I mean, try making a turn with that thing, but...
Yeah, this thing looks like it can calibrate every little part to even maybe change its size, and who knows what it can do.
Yeah. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it did have like a battle mode like what's going to be in Arkham Knight, as you can see here.
Right.
This is
transforming.
Yeah. So this is the battle mode in Arkham Knight, and then that's the like regular driving mode, and you can see here it looks like it's like a machine gun in the front there.
Mm-hmm. Turret, some sort.
Very functional. And then this is actually not the last news story that spawned from Zack Snyder's Twitter account. So actually this past week there was a rumor that kind of caught in popularity that the Batmobile had been stolen from the set of Batman v Superman in Detroit, which the Detroit Police Department actually came out and confirmed that that was false. It had not been stolen. But Zack Snyder had a little fun with it and released this picture. Case closed. And who is that the GCPD is arresting for stealing the Batmobile?
That's funny.
So, yeah, kind of the latest in a series of tweets from J.J. Abrams to Zack Snyder. They've been kind of having, I guess, like a little Photoshop war or something. Because there was a picture a while back, I remember, of like C-3PO as Batman.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that one.
Yeah. Have you seen that, Steve?
No, actually.
I'm sure I can see it. Let's see. Look up J.J. Abrams. Find that picture on his Twitter. Oh, it was Bad Robot. Bad Robot. His studio is what tweeted it. Somewhere down here. There it is. The C-3PED Crusader.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty funny. So, yeah, I like this. You know, it's once again, you know, celebrities are humans, so they like to have a little fun. And so, C-3PO gets to be Batman, then Stormtrooper gets to be arrested for stealing the Batmobile, I guess. So, anyway, to the comments real quick. Darth Duo comments, new Batmobile photos. That thing looks sick. There are pictures of it from the front and the side. It looks sick. So yeah, we just covered that, and I think we can all agree that the new Batmobile, you know, looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the design.
So it's very awesome indeed. Okay. So that's pretty much the biggest DC news that's come out this past week. Not a whole lot, definitely nothing on the scale of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam. But,
Yeah.
there were well, actually, I was mistaken. There is one more bit of DC news. Not DC movie news, but DC TV news. And that is that,
The Teen Titans?
yes.
Yeah, I heard about that the other day.
Yes.
I was a bit like, I didn't know what to think about it at first, but, I mean, if they do it right, it could be okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, you know, the whole story behind this is that Teen Titans is to get a live-action pilot episode, and I guess that'll determine if a network is to pick it up or not. So, but I think, you know, it's a bit interesting because Teen Titans, you know, it has a lot of members with superpowers in them. You know, it's not just Robin, you know, with his wingdings, whatever. But, you know, you've got Starfire, Beast Boy, Cyborg, you know, Raven. Just thinking of, you know, the TV show, the animated show cast. So, you know, what do you guys think? What could they pull that, you know, could they pull that off at a TV budget level?
That is one thing to consider, but I think that would be really difficult to pull off at a live-action series. But maybe if they just like focused on smaller things, like the characters not doing as much action sequences, which then it wouldn't be an interesting show. So there's a lot of debate you could have there.
As long as it's not the CW, I'll be interested in seeing where it could go if it gets picked up. Cause I don't know. As much as I know Arrow has some great stuff going on, I don't know. Just prejudice against the CW, I guess, as being a channel I want to watch.
Don't they have The Flash now?
Yeah, The Flash is coming out, I think
Yeah.
in like a month or so. I could be wrong on that. I think that Flash and Arrow are coming to TV, though, around the same time. I know for sure Arrow is turning next month. So,
Yeah. I think it would be tough with the budget, and it's
Maybe that's
obviously.
why they're doing a pilot and see if any and they're gonna say how much they spent on this episode and see if anyone would like fund them.
yeah. But, you know, yeah, it could be interesting. And there's also some rumors that it's going to be on TNT, not on, like, Fox or CW, which are kind of splitting duties on DC live-action shows at the moment. So TNT, you know, I think I've watched a few TNT shows in the past, like what was this one show? Leverage, which was kind of like an Ocean's 11 type show, where you had this like cast of characters and they had a lot of witty banter and stuff. So I know that TNT can do, you know, like a team-based show. So it could be really good. It could be bad.
They're gonna have to concentrate on other stuff just beside the powers. I'm sure they'll do that part well.
Yeah.
You know, but it could come off looking really hokey. Who knows?
Yeah. So you know, it all depends really on their budget, because you know, either that or they'll have to, you know, like find some way to make all these characters, like, you know, not have superpowers but retain their identity or something.
Yeah,
Maybe they could get the dog whisperer to be Beast Boy or something. So who knows how that'll play out? Could be. So that was actually the actual last DC news story that I had to share. But let's see, there are some Marvel news stories. Well, first off, at the box office this past week, Guardians of the Galaxy has finally been dethroned from the #1 spot, unfortunately. Making me sad. By, like some movie that's like a home invasion movie, and then also a dolphin movie. So,
Oh no, not the Dolphin movie with Morgan Freeman in it that I saw a trailer for.
that's actually the #2 spot. So I guess Guardians is #3. So, unfortunate, but we all knew this time would have to come eventually.
Eventually.
Those aren't gonna stick in those spots though, like Guardians did.
Yeah, I think those are just gonna be like quick things.
Yeah.
It's not gonna last at all.
That's just because it's opening. So.
Yeah. Maybe Guardians will be back at the #1 spot next weekend.
Good.
That would be like, you know, unheard of. You know, but first off, to like reclaim the #1 spot for one time, but to do it 2 times.
That would, yeah, I know. They'd have to create a prize for that one.
Yeah, they would need to give them an Oscar just for that.
Right.
For best box office.
Just straight mail it to them.
Yeah.
It could be a Guinness World Records thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be. So, probably actually already is, I imagine. I don't know. Maybe Titanic's still at the #1 spot for longest box office. Anyway, one of the other news stories is that new on Blu-ray and DVD this past week, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Nice.
One of the best Marvel movies.
Yes, definitely. My personal favorite, I must say. If you haven't seen my top 10 Marvel movie video, you should watch that if you're at home.
Yeah, I really loved it. I'd say the thing I didn't like about it most, in a nutshell, was anything Black Widow said and delivered. I thought it was pretty bad.
Yeah, Black Widow is...
Didn't care for her banter.
Yeah, she's sassy. Not quite the comic book version of character of it. But besides that, love this movie, really do. I've already watched all the special features on the Blu-ray, and they're kind of like halfway through the director's commentary. I'm kind of a special features nut, in case you didn't know.
Oh yeah, it's one of the greatest things about home video now.
Definitely. That.
It's It used to be a real, you know, back when DVDs were new, that was one of the great selling points. And then I feel for a while, a lot of companies were just putting out so-so extras. But, you know, it should be standard to have just packed full of bonus content.
Definitely.
Yeah, one of the reasons I bought the Blu-ray of Star Wars was because it had like 2 or 3 discs just of extras.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to say though that this is actually the first Blu-ray combo pack that I've gotten since Avengers, so the first post-Disney buyout one that I've got. Even though I know that, Iron Man 3, which I do not own that movie, of course, and Thor: The Dark World, which I thought was just meh, so I just got the DVD for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say that compared with the Avengers and movies before that, I think that the bonus features on this are a little bit, light. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
It's just that, well, I got the Target exclusive version, so I haven't checked out the bonus feature that's exclusive with that, because I think I have to go online and enter in a code.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that are actually on the disc, you've got On the Front Line, an inside look at Captain America's Battlegrounds. So it's just, a making of the action sequences, which is I think it was only 5 minutes. It felt really short.
Mm.
On set with Anthony Mackie, cut the check. It's something that he, as you learn and hear, is something that he says quite often on set. But that one was really quick as well. Steve Rogers' Notebook. I actually haven't watched that one, so I have not seen all the features yet. I can't speak for Steve Rogers' Notebook. But that's just discussing, obviously the scene where, you see his list of things he's yet to watch or do.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to watch the Star Wars prequels, because Star Wars was on that list.
Well, it's
If
already
so,
crossed out.
He's going to see
So
Mace
he's already
Windu,
seen it.
and he's going to be real surprised.
Yeah. It was funny because it was like Star Wars / Trek.
I bet he wouldn't
He
be
probably got
surprised.
scared when he saw Mace Windu in the movies, because
Yeah.
He'll be
Nick
like,
Fury, Mace Windu together.
it figures you're up to something like that this whole time. You're not doing enough.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then, of course, the deleted scenes, which there's a few interesting ones on this, which I won't spoil with you, but a little bit more background context was cut. And then,
No commentary?
yeah, there is a commentary, an audio commentary with Anthony and Joe Russo, the directors, and screenwriters Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, which I'm up to the point where, well, I can't really say it because I don't want to spoil where, a plot point, but I'm about, 25% through it, and it's really good so far.
Nice. Yeah.
And then a gag reel, which is actually pretty funny. So, those are the bonus features available on Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So definitely go buy it if you haven't. Buy it now, buy it.
It's an advertisement.
Yeah, this entire show is an advertisement, exactly. Getting those big bucks from Disney.
Yeah.
All these paid product placements behind me, buy them all.
Yeah, all that Star Wars stuff.
Same with Logan back there, some paid product
Yeah.
placements.
Definitely, yeah. Me and my Marvel thingies behind me. So yeah, Captain America, go buy it. That's the moral of that little news story. And then finally, the last Marvel news I have is that Robert Downey Jr. confirms there are currently no plans for a 4th Iron Man film. Thoughts?
I'm a little bit happy, actually, because I feel like the story in the last one was a bit dragging, pretty bad. Don't talk about it.
Just say it was terrible. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, were you going to say something, Steve?
I was gonna say I'm upset because I feel like it was just it wouldn't happen again. It would have to be better. And I know since 3 was so bad and such a waste that I'd be dying to see them forget about it, move on, and see a better Iron Man film on its own.
Yeah, I mean, Iron Man 3, I have my reservations about it. Recently, I actually went back and watched it again, for the first time since it came out in theaters. And at this point, I've just kind of made my peace with it. It is what it is. I can't really change that. But, it's not a really good movie. It's not a good movie. And I guess I was just really hoping for that, they would make an Iron Man 4 to redeem the series, the solo franchise, and especially since Marvel has come out and confirmed, especially with the Marvel one shot that went with Trevor in it, where they're confirming that the Mandarin is, the real Mandarin is out there in the Marvel universe. But, we're not going to see him in an Iron Man 4. Or maybe just, it's just not planned at this point. Maybe it's going to be in Phase 3, and they just don't want to talk about it yet. Or Phase 4.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be so upset if they didn't bring him back at all. I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence about the whole thing. I just think it was just ruined in 3 so bad.
Same here.
Like, they should just move on and like really move on. But yeah, that's what I wanted, was redeeming.
They are making another Avengers though, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. will return as Iron Man in that?
Yeah, he is. He's confirmed.
Oh, yeah.
There's set pictures and photos released.
That's why I'm curious how it'll. I mean, I read the synopsis about how it starts out, but and I don't think there's any talk about him mentioning 3 at all. Any stories from 3, which would be good because I mean, but just the way they ended 3 and getting rid of his suits and getting fixed up. Like, since the next time we're gonna see him is Avengers 2, I'm just real curious about what's he gonna be up to. Like, we gonna catch him coming out of the bathroom and just throwing a towel around his neck and regular Tony, or what's he gonna be doing?
Yeah. So, who knows? I mean, it will be weird, like how they can come up to explain it's going to be a massive retcon, any way that they spin it, because pretty much Iron Man 3, what they were saying, and of course they're conscious that, he's going to be in 2 more Avengers movies at least, but they still say, pretty much, oh, Iron Man's done, he's just Tony Stark now, that's the end. But, obviously the publicity photos released that he is going to be Iron Man in the movie, so retcon, any way you look at it. But I pose this question to you guys. Would you like to see an Iron Man 4 directed by Jon Favreau, like returning?
Yeah. I'd say so. I'd like to see that.
I think it could be good depending on how it's approached.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of people complain about Iron Man 2 and say that it was just more of the same from the first one, but I thought that he did a good job. I mean, he was rushed with making that movie because Iron Man 1 was such a smash hit.
Iron Man 1 was a great movie.
Yeah.
And it was just supposed to be 1 for the until Avengers, and then they rushed out 2, and I still think for rushing it out, especially compared to 3, is a really good movie.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
and also, something interesting about the first Iron Man movie is actually Robert Downey Jr. did a lot of improv work on set, which I just discovered not too long ago, and I was actually really shocked about that because a lot of the lines really felt like something Tony Stark would say.
Oh yeah, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is kind of infamous for his ad-libbing, and the whole in the first Avengers movie where he's like, gosh, what was it? He says, he spots the guy when he's on the helicarrier. He spots the guy playing the game, and
yeah, Space Invaders.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, something like that. He's like, oh, I thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. That was an improv, and they actually just went back and inserted the scene of the guy, going back to play his game after that scene's over. And also, what was it? Where he's talking with Banner and Captain America, and he's going around eating the food, and then he offers the food to Bruce. Completely, ad lib. Robert Downey Jr. actually snuck food onto the set and hid it in places where he could find it.
That's awesome. That's just, I mean, that's why he's just so good at it, because I think he really loves it.
So, Robert Downey Jr., you know, he's still Tony Stark in my mind, even though Iron Man 3 wasn't that good. But, you know, hopefully Avengers 2 can kind of redeem the character.
Oh yeah, I have no doubts that it will.
Maybe if we, after Avengers 2, like, we'd be more, and if Iron Man is actually, like, redeems himself, then maybe we'd be open to an idea of Iron Man 4 even more, and perhaps even the company.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Hopefully that happens. Let's see, and that's it for the news stories I had lined up. We went through them pretty fast.
Yeah, it's only been like an hour.
Yeah, so good nice and concise.
I did read a quick, well, I wouldn't even say I read it. I read the title of the thing, but it was talking about Daredevil on Netflix and just how he's, you know, they're not going to be afraid to draw him as doing questionable hero things all the time. You know, he's going to be true to the comics and might come off as a bad guy sometimes in his decisions. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I did see something regarding Daredevil, the Netflix show. So let's see if I can find it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I found it. It's a pretty long article, and they got some quotes by. Let's see, who's this guy? I think he's going to be like the director or something, that supervising director. I can read the quote. You know, if you guys
Sure.
aren't going to screen share. Says, with this version of Daredevil, we want it to be grounded, gritty, as realistic as we could portray. That naturally fits in with the Daredevil character. Matt Murdock, on a regular basis, would get the SHIT beat out of him. That's one thing that makes him a great character. He's not super strong. He's not invulnerable. In every aspect, he's a man that's just pushed himself to the limits. He just has senses that are better than a normal human's. He is human. The other thing that really drew me to this character is that he's one of the most morally gray of the heroes. He's a lawyer by day, and he's taken this oath, but every night he breaks that oath and goes out and does very violent things. The image that always stuck in my mind was the Frank Miller Electra run, where he's holding Bullseye over the street, and he lets Bullseye go because he doesn't want Bullseye to ever kill anyone again. When I read that originally when I was young, I'd never seen anything like that in comics. Superman scoops up the villain and puts them in jail. This time the hero didn't do that. It was a morally gray ground that I found absolutely fascinating. There are two sides to this character. He's literally one bad day away from becoming the Punisher. Frank Castle went just a little bit further than he did. Daredevil has no qualms about beating the hell out of somebody. He's not going to tie them up with his webs. He'll come close to killing somebody, and if it's that fine edge, why doesn't he go all the way? I really like the heroes, the human heroes.
Can you link where you're reading that quote to my Facebook? Just want to
I will
read that to my friend later.
copy that, and let's see. Let's see. Pull up this window. Put it in a few different places. First off, I put it in our little chat bar here.
Alright.
I'll put it in the comments section of the video, the live show, in case anybody. Well, they won't let me use links. So. Even on my own live show, I can't post links and comments. Son of a gun. But
You might be spamming. That's why YouTube won't let you.
Yeah, because I'm going to spam my own live show. It makes such sense.
Yeah, you're just trolling. We know it.
Yeah, I'm such a troll. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like Daredevil's going to be really quite a badass, if I must say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And it's going to be the guy that played Dexter. It's going to be Daredevil, I believe.
Wow.
So, yeah, he's going to be pretty gritty, I imagine, if he's played by somebody that's going to be... And there was a serial killer on television.
Yep.
Was it? I'm not sure if it was or not. Let me see. I can't find whether or not it was... That's actually who's going to be Matt Murdock. But I know for sure that Vincent D'Onofrio is going to be the Kingpin, who you should be familiar with him if you've ever watched an episode of Law and Order. He's been on that show for a long time. And also Rosario Dawson is going to be in it as Elektra, I believe.
Ah. Interesting.
So Caleb, how familiar are you with the character of Daredevil?
I'm actually kind of new to the character. I don't recognize his name actually.
Daredevil?
No, I do not recognize
Not
him.
even from the Ben Affleck movie from a decade ago? It's alright, I don't blame you. I mean, like, really, because a lot of people have kind of, made fun of Daredevil as kind of like a second-rate Spider-Man. But, I don't think he's a second-rate Spider-Man. He's a really different character. But just hearing that synopsis, or that little summary, would you be interested in watching the Netflix show?
Yeah, and I think I will check it out for sure because he doesn't seem like Spider-Man at all in my opinion. He seems a lot darker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that write-up really hits the nail on the head and that's why I want to read it to my friend later because he thinks Daredevil is lame. And I'm going to see if this doesn't put a little perspective into why I think he's, got cool points.
Yeah, he sounds like a pretty cool character.
And he's blind, too, which is cool.
Right.
He's like... Because I always think, it's good, to have these, like, superheroes that overcome their disabilities to become better.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'd say being blind is a pretty big disability, especially when you're a superhero.
Yeah. And, just for everybody, watching, not just for Caleb, but for everybody watching at home that may not be familiar with the character, the whole reasoning behind his powers, I guess you'd say, is that he was blinded at a young age in, like, a chemical accident, like a chemical car, like somebody was transporting illegal chemicals, and it crashed, and it got in his eyes and stuff. But because of that, he has enhanced other senses that he uses. Like, he has, like, an echolocation, almost hearing. So, he uses that to see and to fight crime.
Yeah, you can draw parallels with, he's got his own spidey sense.
Yeah.
But it's still totally unique to him.
And there's actually a continuation of the quote later on. Do you guys want me to read that out loud?
Sure.
All right. This is the same guy. Let me say who's saying this first. Let's see. What's his name? Stephen S. DeKnight. And it says he'll be a showrunner, which I guess that means he'll be in charge of it, or he'll be an actor. I'm not sure. The term showrunner is very ambiguous. Anyway, Stephen DeKnight, he says, continuing on from where we left off, Netflix has been fantastic. They are phenomenally supportive of the creatives. How much freedom will I have? This is a bit of a different scenario because it's a Marvel property. Once you have an IP like that, there are restrictions that you have to accept. I'm fine with that. I totally understand. I'll push it as far as I can, of course, but I also respect the fact that this character has been around for decades. Overall, I've been surprised at how willing everyone is to take a really fresh look and really push what we're doing. On this show, I honestly have no idea how long it will run. That's so far above my pay grade. Making it even more complicated is the fact that Daredevil is one part of the bigger plan. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and then the Defenders, how that all fits together and whether or not there will be a second season of this show or if it will fold into the others are questions nobody really has answers to yet. So obviously in that last bit referencing that Daredevil is not going to be the only Marvel superhero to have a Netflix show, but also, like you said, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders, and I believe that like Luke Cage and Iron Fist are going to kind of combine to be heroes for hire at some point.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to all that, even though it's so far down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Netflix first started out, I would have never imagined that they'd be getting like their own shows and stuff and exclusive content.
It went towards TV so much because that's just real popular right now. So yeah, they jumped on the bandwagon and doing great with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was real glad when they got the final Clone Wars episodes up on there and back in March. That was really cool. And it was actually something that pretty much almost everyone could access because almost everyone I know at least has like a Netflix or can afford Netflix for a month just to watch those episodes.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's been interesting, to see that this kind of rise of digital exclusivity. Like, I think it started with, like, Netflix did another season of Arrested Development, I believe. And that's what kind of started this all. And then they got the Clone Wars exclusive episodes, and now they're getting these Marvel exclusive shows. And Amazon now has a few exclusive shows. So it's interesting. And it's actually, I think that this is one of the rare instances which Marvel is playing catch up to DC. Where Marvel's like, DC's was real successful with all of their live action shows. Why don't we, try that out? So do you think this could dethrone DC as the king of live action shows?
I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting with DC wanting to lead into Teen Titans and then Marvel leading in with Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist. They might be competing against each other. But, dethroning, I don't know. But, rivaling probably.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because also, I think that DC might have an advantage because it is on, actually on TV, whereas, this is all going to be Netflix, which, is still, is good. A lot of people do have Netflix, but it's not going to never going to have as big of an audience as regular cable TV. At least not.
The thing about the Netflix episodes is they don't have to worry about like viewers because the episodes will already be paid for like by season probably. Whereas with the other show they have to worry about people watching, so that way people want to advertise during their program.
But I mean, go ahead, Steve.
I was gonna say what they need to do is have commercials for Netflix specific stuff. Like, I want to see if I'm watching, Fox one night and I'm just watching Family Guy or something. While it goes to commercial, I want to see Daredevil in a trailer, in part with Netflix, and be like, okay, I'm gonna go to Netflix to see that, which is something you'll see with all the DC stuff. You'll see commercials on regular TV because it's gonna be on regular TV. So like, unless you're really keeping up with what Netflix is doing, you're not, and you're just watching regular TV. You're not necessarily you're gonna know about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys both made excellent points. But I'm just thinking because I wonder, with these shows that are digital exclusives, like how does the company behind them make a judgment on whether to give them a second season? Because it's like, do they monitor how many people have viewed it?
Yeah, I'm sure Netflix keeps track of how many people have viewed it.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I don't know, it just seems weird because, obviously regular TV does, their ratings where, how many viewers tuned in when this show, premiered and whatnot, and then that they base their decisions on that. But with Netflix, it's weird because another thing that I always found weird about these digital exclusive shows is that they, like, dump all the episodes in the season, like, at the same time. Which, I don't know, it kind of takes away from the excitement of, like, watching a TV show. I don't know, this is just kind of a weird opinion of mine, but, like, of going to it week to week and, like, oh, what's going to happen next? Going to have to wait till next week to see it, whereas, with with Netflix, you can just binge watch it in an afternoon and like, oh, I got through the season of Daredevil, woohoo, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, when they release it episode by episode, I feel like it's got a little bit more of a hype behind it. But when
Yeah.
they're releasing it like you can talk about it like with your friends and stuff, and have discussions about what's gonna happen next week, like predictions and stuff like that. But if they release it all at once, it's just kind of all there for everyone to see.
Mhm.
Yeah, it lengthens the experience for me. I know personally, like some of the 10 most tense weeks of the year are the 10 weeks that Game of Thrones, a new season is out, because it's like every episode somebody could die. So but whereas if I just watched them all back to back, I would know just within a day, what happened. So.
Yeah.
I've never actually watched Game of Thrones, but I have seen this funny like little clip where the director's just sitting there in a chair and he's got like a wheel with all the names and he's like, who should I kill off this week? And he just spins the wheel.
Yeah, that is true for Game of Thrones. Nobody is safe on that show. Let's go check the comments real quick. Darth Duo says, gotta go, but great live show. Keep it up and see you next time. See you, Darth Duo.
Bye.
Peace out.
See you later.
And NG Chris is joining us once again.
Yay.
Hello.
Hello, NG Chris. How are you doing? Let's see. Anybody else have any other news stories that they remember seeing?
Not something news, but I do want to screen share like a quick picture that has something to do with Star Wars Rebels and a link to the Clone Wars.
Sure.
If that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna screen share entire screen. There we go. Can you guys see the Inquisitor here?
Yep.
Okay, well that temple behind him, that's something that was in the Son of Dathomir comics, which are the 4 comics that were just released. And that's the temple that was supposed to be in that arc during the Clone Wars. So that's kind of a neat little tie that they have between the Rebels and that they just put it in the trailer behind the Inquisitor.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and some people are saying that they're actually going to reuse that design for the prison where they're going to keep Luminara Unduli. So that's interesting as well. We'll just have to wait and see what that's actually used for in Star Wars Rebels. But I'm sure it has some sort of significance, if not just to be a little Easter egg in the trailer.
Right.
Yeah, actually, that kind of brings up a good point. Is this is something I've been wondering about. Obviously, the Clone Wars was canceled not because it was doing bad, but because Disney just wanted to monopolize Star Wars television shows. And but they still kept the same creative team from Lucasfilm Animation. So how many ties do you think we're going to see between Rebels and the Clone Wars? Are we going to see Ahsoka pop up on in a later season or something?
That is I don't know if there are going to be too many characters popping up, because there was an interview with Dave where he said not too many of the Clone Wars characters would be making cameos, but he definitely would throw a bone occasionally to the Clone Wars fans, what he said. But that's the second one I've noticed. The first one I've actually noticed was there's a picture of Sabine where it's got like a bunch of art that she drew on inside of what's the ship called? The one that they use. I forget what it's called.
I honestly don't know.
Oh, okay. I'll just call it Millennium Falcon ripoff ship.
Yeah.
Inside the Millennium Falcon ripoff ship, there's actually a drawing of Imbo's head. So that was something that I saw inside there.
I mean, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe for all we know, Disney has a mandate. Out. They have a general order out for the Rebels crew that there can be no references to the Clone Wars. We canceled it for a reason. So, and also I noticed that the art style is a bit different. It looks very much similar to the Clone Wars, except for the edges are a bit softer. But I saw in one of the trailers a hologram of Obi-Wan, and his design is definitely different than Clone Wars.
Yeah. And Luminara Unduli looked a lot different as well. in that one hologram where she's like a prisoner.
Yeah. So I guess they're retconning that Luminara did survive episode 3 Order 66.
Yeah, they're just trashing that. It's like they did it. Well, pretty much they already did trash it officially. Disney did.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
She
The
was
expanded
on-
universe thing is still, bugs me.
Yeah, same here. But she was on Kashyyyk. We know that for a fact. So we don't know how many Jedi were on Kashyyyk with her. First of all, we know Yoda and Luminara were there because they were in Episode 3 there. The rest of them that were there in the comics apparently may or may not have been there.
Yeah, like Quinlan Voss.
Yeah, he was originally there and he survived.
Yeah, but who knows, if Quinlan Voss would pop up again.
Yeah, and the deleted scene, there were actually a turbo tank where he blew up. If you've seen that.
Yeah, I remember because I think I think it's both of them actually. Both the graphic novel comic book version, an adaptation of Episode 3, and the Star Wars Republic, the last volume of that, called Endgame, which is excellent. The entire Star Wars Republic comic series is fantastic. But both of those go into a bit more detail of all the Jedi who died in various locations. And I believe in one of those, Luminara gets gets shot by a turbo tank. Like they just shoot a missile at her, and that's how she goes out. So, and then Quinlan Voss, obviously, he survives, and he has kind of like a 1-to-1 match with his clone commander. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they retcon various Jedi living or dying.
Yeah.
But one thing that I found really interesting, because I was thinking about like what all they cut with the EO, they cut all the video game stories, which includes like Force Unleashed, Republic Commando, and all that stuff. But technically, the characters, Delta Squad, the Republic Commanders, are still canon because they made that short cameo in the Clone Wars. So if it wasn't for that, it wouldn't be canon. So that's just like blew my mind. That few seconds that they were on screen is the only reason they're still canon.
That's an interesting point. So thank goodness for the Clone Wars for keeping Delta Squad alive.
Look at that small cameo. It was worth it now.
Yeah. And I remember that they teased it so much, like leading up to that episode, like, oh, Delta Squad's going to be in this episode. You know how much you love Star Wars, Republic Commando. Delta Squad's going to be in the Clone Wars, and it's just
just walking out with the body, and then they say a few words, walk off.
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed. I wanted to see some action with them.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much Boss just like comes and just says, sup, then he just walks away.
Yeah.
I did find it a bit weird, though, because obviously Star Wars Republic, or not Republic, what am I thinking? It's too early for me to think, but Republic Commando, obviously Temuera Morrison came back and did the voice of Boss, and then they had different voice actors for each of the clone commandos to give them a unique personality. But in the Clone Wars, obviously all clone voices, no matter what their personality, are done by D. Bradley Baker. So I thought it was a bit weird, because I think Boss is the only one that speaks out of the four, but just hearing his voice come from Boss, and I always think of Boss as Temuera Morrison's voice. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Have we lost you, Steve?
Well, a little, but I've only seen a handful of Clone Wars episodes, and I want to watch all of them. It's just there's just too many things to watch, and that's just one of them that I need to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, personally.
I haven't not watched it because I'm not interested. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I have a kind of a weird relationship with the Clone Wars animated show because I grew up with both the Micro series in the early 2000s and Star Wars Republic, the comic series, both of which are phenomenal and are what I consider to be the Clone Wars in my mind. But then, the CGI show comes along and essentially just tosses all that to the side and says, "No, this is the Clone Wars.
This is what we meant to do." Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a weird
the Micro series was beautifully animated. Actually, I think that's some great 2D animation. It wasn't it the same people that did Samurai Jack? Because I can notice a lot.
Yeah, it was Samurai Jack.
Similar.
Now that you say that, yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah. It blew my mind when I first found out because I found out there was Clone Wars before Clone Wars, and I was like, oh, it was even another cartoon, and saw all the figures and everything for it, and it's
yeah,
just all cool stuff. I love the style. I like the old one and the newer one.
I
yeah,
call the reason like the one way you can differentiate the two without saying the word 2D or 3D is you can refer to the old one as the one where General Grievous was cool, and the new one where the one where General Grievous always ran away.
It's just a joke,
he was
right?
a comic relief in the new show.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, but and I mean, there's been like several like fan made like really hardcore fans of the Clone Wars have made these very extensive analysis of like how the old Clone Wars cartoon and how the Republic comic could fit in with from the timeline of the new show.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
I think Dan told me about that a long time ago actually, and like showed me how it could fit in. Because he said that Ventress didn't actually die in the old Clone Wars because we didn't see her body. So that's a good point he brought up.
and actually in the Republic comic series, Ventress just goes away. Like essentially, she's just like, I'm done with this. I'm going to like some remote planet and living out my life in peace. So yeah, it's I think that really like they're kind of grasping at straws when you try to fit in the two very different versions of the
Yeah,
Clone.
but the main thing that doesn't fit to me is the characters. They all act a lot different in each of the series. That's the one thing that differentiates them a lot. For example, a big one would be General Grievous.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think that um, the newer CGI show is more aimed for a younger audience than the micro series ever was because that show I think this has been a long time since I watched it actually on TV, but I believe it was on Toonami back when that was a thing on Cartoon Network. So like it aired at, like late at night, so they could be grittier with it. And definitely the Star Wars Republic comic series is a lot grittier, and it's more like it feels like Saving Private Ryan Star Wars version. So
Huh.
yeah, so they have very different tones, definitely. So I'd recommend the Republic comic series to anybody who's a fan of Star Wars. It's
Mm.
very good. And I think it's been collected into an omnibus now, and then now Marvel is going to release a collection of the what are they calling it now? Legends stories.
Oh, I
Like
hate how they call it that. That's just like sickening. It gives you
yeah,
a weird feeling when you say legends, because it's something those stories like that you read through them. You thought that was a part of Star Wars canon, and you like used that to give backgrounds to characters you loved in the movies and the Clone Wars show.
Mm.
yeah. So anyway, that's like an entire live show in itself. Is the fate of the
Yeah.
expanded universe
Yeah,
and
like
the fate
characters were cut out that a lot of people loved, like HK-47 from Knights of the Old Republic, or the Revan.
yeah,
A lot of
Yeah.
those characters were cut out because they weren't in anything else that was canon.
yeah. I mean, personally, I think that really the cancellate or not the cancellation, but like the eradication of the expanded universe. I think that really only applies to the post Return of the Jedi period because that's the period that Disney wants clear for the sequels and also the Dark Times.
Mm.
But like, I really doubt that they're going to go back and say, specifically say like, oh, Knights of the Old Republic, it happened 50,000 years before the events of the movies. That's not canon anymore. I don't think that's a time period that they're going to touch. So I think that it's a safe bet to say that Knights of the Old Republic still exists in some way, even if they say that it doesn't.
Oh yeah. Again, especially to people who have played it and lived it and have just thought that way.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's weird what made it and what didn't make the cut. To keep.
Yeah. Pretty much everything Disney wants was kept, and everything it doesn't was not.
Yeah. Right.
But in the
I
comments
think.
section, huh?
Oh,
What are you
yeah,
gonna say, Caleb?
I was gonna say I think Disney just pretty much threw away everything and didn't really like review enough stuff. They just kind of said it's not worth going through all this stuff. We'll just rewrite it some time later.
They went to tabula rasa, clean slate. You know, now everything goes, even if it's not relevant to what we want to do. So, but in the comments, real quick, Sergeant Joe 45 asks, "What is this Republic comic series?" Well, let me grab a few, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
So,
I actually think I might have a comic pack that is Republic comic series, but I'm not sure. Could actually look at pictures, see.
all right, I'm back again.
Hey Logan, did they put any of the Republic comic series like in the comic packs, the 2-packs?
I think they did, yes, on several occasions. Like I have one that's, I think it came with Anakin or something, but it also had Dirge in it. I have that one, and then there was
I have
another
this one comic pack that has a clone trooper lieutenant and a clone trooper. They're both like part of the 212th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's one of the Republic comic series.
It may be actually, and I know that for sure they made one with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Alpha, who was the original ARC trooper. You know, like
The original Rex.
yes, it definitely. Rex is a cheap knockoff of Alpha in my book, because the reasoning that they said that they didn't want to put Alpha in the CGI show is that
Too many A's in the names.
too many characters with A's. What kind of BS excuse is that?
That was a really dumb excuse in my opinion, but I think it was more something to do with the rights.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if you think about it, none of the characters that were like Alpha, or not Alpha, but like Fordo, whenever Hasbro like made the figure, they didn't even put Fordo on the packaging other than say inspired by Fordo. They just put inspired by him. They didn't really like call the figure Fordo.
Yeah, I mean,
Even though it was like obviously based like 100% after him.
That's strange.
so here's Sergeant Joe 45. The Star Wars Republic series, it's been collected into trade paperbacks a few times now. It was originally called Star Wars Republic when it was single issued, but it was collected into these, the Star Wars Clone Wars. There's
I have that actually.
9 volumes total in this format, and each one has a different cover illustration. And the first one has Mace Windu, and this is the defense of Kamino, which again, you know, in the Clone Wars, Kamino was under siege in like season 4 or 3 or something. But that would be the second siege of Kamino, if you actually believe that these two things actually happen in the same canon. But it has fantastic art, fantastic stories. Let me just put it up here for you guys to see. Quinlan Voss, Ayla.
Is that the one where Kit Fisto and Ayla like have an affair, sort of?
Yeah, Kit Fisto and Ayla Secura were like a romantic item in this version. So as you can see there, this is obviously before Episode 3 because they've got the old style Jedi starfighters fighting. And it's a really great story, a really great issue. There's Alpha. Right there.
Nice.
So he's a recurring character throughout this entire series. There's like the big, it's the most famous shot probably from this volume. The ARC troopers descending.
I've seen people use that as their profile picture.
Huh?
I've seen a lot of people use that one as their like profile picture and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a pretty iconic moment because I think this is like one of the big introductions of the ARC Troopers was in this comic series.
Hmm.
Probably even, and then the last volume, Volume 9, obviously with Vader. This because I believe this Star Wars Republic expand from the time that Attack of the Clones was released in theaters until Revenge of the Sith. So they kind of paced it perfectly, really. So Volume 9, and then obviously this deals a lot with Order 66. And you see, there's Luminara on Kashyyyk with Quinlan Boss.
Hmm.
I think we would have got to see the like Order 66 and up till that point in the new Clone Wars series if the Disney buyout didn't occur. I think that would have been something really cool to see too.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of, because we, like you were saying earlier, with Luminara is still alive by the time Rebels happens. Well, very explicitly, there's her being shot to death.
Damn.
So obviously, that didn't really happen. And then here's Quinlan Voss's when he was attacked by the clones, but he survived this. He got shot with the turbo tube.
Hmm.
So all in all, this is just a really fantastic series. And I believe that Dark Horse collected this into Omnimbi, like 3 or 4 volumes, because like I said, there's 9 volumes in this format, and it actually volume 9 of this leads directly into the first volume of Dark Times, which was another comic series,
Yeah.
and so actually several characters that appear in the last issue of this, their stories continue in Dark Times. And so really, it's like the longest lasting Star Wars comic series of all time if you count Republic and Dark Times as the same series.
All right.
So, yeah, it's great. This is my version of the Clone Wars right here, so highly recommend this.
Yeah.
So, I hope that answered your question, Sergeant Joe. So, any other news stories anybody wants to bring up? Any comments? Comments, questions?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
Well, I guess then that we should probably draw the show to a close. Personally, I'm getting very hungry because I have not had dinner yet. So, yeah. So,
You're right. It's still early for you.
yeah, you
That's
guys.
like 9:42 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up at Mass, Caleb.
Yeah, so you guys on the East Coast. I'm glad that we got to do this, have an earlier show so, you guys weren't either not being able to attend because it's so late or forcing yourselves to stay awake because it's so late.
Yeah.
All of that. So, yeah. If you guys are in the comment section, I put in your final comments very shortly. Soon.
It's a little delayed, so we'll give them a minute or two.
Yeah. Like I said, very nice having you guys here.
Oh, thanks for having us on, man.
Yeah. Always
Probably.
fun.
Always good times. And I try to space these shows out by a week. It's still spontaneous because I don't really plan them out, but I think every week is approximately when they happen. Sometimes on Sundays, Fridays, Saturdays. Who knows?
Right.
So spontaneous. So if you're in the comments, comment away really soon, please.
You think Hasbro's gonna cut back on the Angry Birds anytime soon?
Hopefully.
They announced that Star Wars Rebels is gonna get some Angry Birds because I heard that one of the actors from Star Wars Rebels at one of the conventions was saying how they were so excited to see themselves as a Angry Bird thing, their character.
Waste of money.
Yeah, waste of plastic. Hasbro's putting too much effort in these other things, like the Command series. Those little they're like really small figurines that
I
you
saw
play some
the.
sort of game with.
They're like army soldiers, Green Army
Yeah.
men, except for Star Wars, which I guess is kind of cute.
It's it's such a small amount of people that are like looking for something like that over other things, though.
Yeah, I mean, really, who wants that over a real figure?
I think the coolest thing for it is people who make up their own board games and
Yeah.
tabletop games. Those would be a great way to buy pieces and make Star Wars one or something, you know.
So I guess there is a market for it. The
Right.
homemade tabletop game market.
Very small niche,
Yeah.
whatever.
So NG Chris comments, "Have a nice day." So
All right.
thank you, Chris.
You have a nice day as well, man.
Yes,
Thanks for commenting.
yes, and thank you for joining us as always, Chris, our most loyal live show viewer. So yeah, you guys want to say your catchphrases?
Shazam! Oh wait, that's not my catchphrase. No, thanks for having me again. It was fun, and yeah, I'll see you next time probably, and
Yeah.
see you guys on your channels too.
Thanks so much for having me on, Logan. It was great. Anytime, man. And thanks all to you guys for watching.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching as always. This is JokerPet signing out.